been a nasty crash out by the meat factory. Apparently it happened at 4 o'clock this morning. It was there when we drove past on the rounds at 6, although we couldn't see anything there at that point because there were police vans and police cars in between us and it. Drove past it about 8:30. Only one police car left there, and the car that crashed itself, which was upside down, crushed on its roof, or at least the main part of it was. There were bits of it 50 odd yards down the road, if not more, big bits. Quite possible someone died there. It's a very main road, that one, and they wouldn't leave it closed for 5 hours unless there was a reason. They could have easily had that car plucked off the road and cleared by now. I have heard since I last drove by at 8:30 that there's forensics on the scene now. That was 9, so sounds like someone's died. It's the second serious collision there in 6 months. So obviously something's got a bit dodgy down there. Just as you hit a big dip, they seems to have lost control. So it could be that. Not good though. It appears to be being a busy Saturday afternoon. I've just updated the website for Quaff Live, so now a lot more of it's spelt correctly. And thanks, Susie, for the corrections there. Just realised I've forgotten to correct the spelling of your name. Must do that. Later though. It seems a lot of the world is suddenly beginning to move across to Google Plus, which may possibly be the next Facebook. But it may not. But I'm going to stay on both for a little while, see which way it goes. I don't want to end up coming across years later after everyone else has moved this time. One thing that does worry me is every time there's a major shift of platform as far as social network goes, I seem to lose contact with friends, and that's not exactly a good thing. So hopefully this time I'll try and keep more of them. This has also meant getting a Gmail account. Unfortunately, I seem to live in a poor choice of place in the world for a Gmail account, because when you log into Gmail account, one of the things it allows you to do is select your background. Now, I selected beach because when they had the list of pictures for beach, the list of pictures for backgrounds, the beach one looked really cool. It was a sunset. I love sunsets, that's why I went for it. But then it says your picture depends on where you are. Cool, I thought it would be a sunset on a beach from somewhere near here. No, it's a very poorly drawn picture of a beach with a cartoony ice cream cone upside down on it and no sign of a sunset, which is very depressing. But then again, we don't have any local beaches around here. This is Kedington. I'm trying Google Plus, and there's a button you can click on that adds your location to any post you're making, and it seems to make use of something in Firefox that theoretically works out your location from your ISP, or details given by your ISP, or just ask your phone if you're using a mobile. Now, I would have turned this off had I known it was available and turned on, but having found it and having discovered that it thinks I'm in Norfolk, I may leave it on just to throw people off the scent. I mentioned last week how Transformer toys weren't as good as they used to be. However, my sister tells me today that you can now get a Fireman Sam toy that transforms from Fireman Sam into a fire engine, and that is cool. Unless, of course, it's Fireman Sam with a fire engine stamped on his arse. Here I go on the last paper round for which I will ever deliver news to the worlds, which I don't see as much of a loss. As far as actual recompense goes, they were one of the stingiest papers. All News International ones are. You get a much lower cut of the money than most of the others. Looks like a lovely clear day today, which is great because it's Open Gardens Day. If I do sound a little out of breath, by the way, that's because I'm the only Sunday paper boy that still uses a bag rather than a trolley. Still trying to work out the point of this Google Plus thing. It doesn't seem to have much that Facebook doesn't, except for these circles, which I think aren't such a bad thing. They mean you can choose when you make a post who can see it, and you can sort your page view so that you only see certain groups of people when you're looking at posts of other people. This is obviously a good feature that they've pretty much taken from LiveJournal, which has always been my favourite platform, but it's pretty much empty of people these days. Or at least comparatively to its old days. The downside is that, like Facebook, they're now insisting that everyone uses their real name. I think I'm going to officially rename this chair Pride Rock. The Scottish paper, the Sunday Post, this morning has not got any news on its front page, merely a message saying, "Rediscover a warm, entertaining newspaper. The Sunday Post is proud to stand by the values good people hold dear: honesty, integrity and decency. We've built our reputation on these principles and have remained true to them for generations. We are the paper you can trust to deliver the great family read for all the family." Which, for those of you who can't follow my rather poor Scots accent, means, or at least translates as, "We're not with that lot over there. We've never seen them before, and we wouldn't have a thing to do with them." Two stories on the front of the Echo today. It's back to the Dark Ages, in which we hear that the streetlights in Haverhill are set to be turned off between midnight and 5:30 every night as a money-saving scheme. And school back torch campaign, in which teachers of Haverhill secondary schools give their support to a campaign to bring the Olympic torch to Haverhill. I think they should combine these two stories. I think they should campaign to have the Olympic torch brought to Haverhill between midnight and 5:30. Once a year, some of Kedington's gardeners throw open their garden gates to members of the public, who, for a donation to church fees of about £3, get a little map showing them where everything is and entrance to these gardens. We had 19 gardens this year. Here's a selection of some of them. They're amazing guys. Sorry folks, we're running out of time there. We'll have to do the rest of the open gardens in our next podcast, which will be sometime shortly. The music, by the way, for that was Wanderlust by Last Dance. Anyway, important information before you go. This is the last podcast on the username Marcony YT. I mentioned earlier that I'm consolidating everything onto one username for all my Google stuff, and of course Google includes YouTube. So the new username you need to look out for is Marcony Anchovy. That will have all my future Marcony's weeks on it, and other little random bits as well, and the rest of the open garden stuff and all of that. It's been fun being here, it'll be fun being there. I'll see you there. I'll put a URL up somewhere in the end of this video and in the comments. See you sometime.